You're like Tanaki. Sorry, we don't do an intro because it's part 2. I'm so sorry, guys. You're my one and only two. There you go, perfect. Still looking for no lists? It's okay. I'm not really in love with a character. And again, I know a lot of people are gonna come after me. But the simple fact that she is half a human and the ghoul is kind of cool. But it's more for the realization that the person that we've been looking for has been the manager all along. The reason why the manager is so kind is because he feels guilty that all the trouble that his daughter does. Today is Sunday. Don't ring easy brains looking for the places. You also have a wonderful day on this 9 March 2025. We were taking a break of making content. However, I'm happy because we're back into it. We're really back into it, and it's so cool because right now I enjoy a lot of sugar. I'll make a video on the pros of that and the cons of that, right? So today we're tasting double Cheetos, and it's kind of cool because I don't think I've had a new product of Cheetos in a long ass time. We're tasting ketchup, which is the crunchy Cheetos. One of my favorite. One of my favorite. You know the craziest thing with that? I saw it once. And I never saw it before, after, again. When you have masala Cheetos, they're more puffy. Magic masala. Now, with this I have a problem. We'll get into it. So the first thing we're gonna do is Cheetos ketchup. Love Cheetos, but ultimately, my issue with Cheetos is, and I'll be completely fucking honest. I do not like the crust. When it comes to crust, there's Humpty Dumpty. The Canadian brand, which I prefer. I do prefer the Canadian brand. Not because it's Canadian, but because I do like the Cheetos, the Humpty Dumpty crust. So with the Cheetos, the texture is nicer. With the Humpty Dumpty, the taste is better. So and the crunchy is actually my favorite. However, I don't really like spicy food, so when you throw at me flaming hot, Cheetos I don't really like it. So I'm stuck with two flavor, which is jalapeno, which I love, and the original. And those foods are great, but I've ate them multiple countless times. So with the ketchup, you're giving me the same good ketchup that I love, you're giving me new flavor, that I also love. Now apparently, ketchup snacks are Canadian as fuck. And I didn't know that. Thanks to GMM, they taught me. They had this slave, this slave that was ketchup Lay's. And right away they knew it was Canadian. I'm like, is this associated with us? So we have a little description in the back. Tangy ketchup with the crunch you love. Now the craziest thing with those one is I do remember being pissed at the tangy. Because it was, I don't know, I was telling the tangy because I really use tangy. Not that I really give a fuck. What change? Well, I don't really, I kind of watch my weight. I don't really eat chips. So, the cool one, you're gonna get into it with Magic Masala. This I how you use probably. It's just, I don't know. It's just, there's some gimmicks that are used. Here we go. The thing that I use well. That's what I find me hot. I saw a 25-inch video of humans that I love. I'm coming hot. I'm tasting every single flavor of hot shit kind there is. It was a bunch. It was a fucking shitload. These are really, really nice. Really, really nice. That is so good. Oh yeah. Wow. Negative. There's another flavor with Cheetos. And people prefer the original and then have flavor. Or the fun. So out of the three that I love, this is number 3. Okay. The positive. The ketchup actually is a really, really good flavor for this. It actually matched really well with the rest of the chip. Right? The most positive thing is the ketchup itself. There's a multiple way that the ketchup is so good. The ketchup is, it doesn't last. So what you do is you get a chunk first base, and then you have your chip, your corn tortilla. This is my favorite part. So fucking good. Really ketchup-y? It's really simple compared to the others. They hold up really well. I love these. I feel like negative, and that's more for me. But the only negative that I'm seeing is I don't mind. I've been eating the normal snacks, the jalapenos for years, almost a decade. It's not a decade, because I started eating them at the IG and I was working there in 2012. When we moved here. These I don't know if I would have them for years and years and years. I think I would get bored with them. Which, longevity-wise, is also important. You want to go for a snack that you're going to be enjoying over and over and over and over and over again. Now, we're moving on to the Magic Masala. So, there's a disclaimer. I told you before I had a problem with Magic Masala. Now, sadly, I'm seeing a lot of videos. I'm seeing a lot of... When there's something, I don't know if it's in English or French, there's something called the bandwagon, which is a great... And when something works, something doesn't. So the Magic Masala, I had this true luck to live close to a Indian market where they have a lot of snacks from India. So we're talking about the galaki, which are phenomenal. Talking about the kurkur, which are phenomenal. Talking about the other one, chak masala, not chak, I don't know what it is. But the masala. Now, Lay's came in about 4 or 5 months ago with a Magic Masala, which was phenomenal. And I haven't seen anybody do it. I'm seeing Ruffles Magic Masala. So with Cheetos, I'm actually like, dude, why is everybody doing this? Why is everybody doing this? However, I have to give point or credit for the do. I love Magic Masala. First of all. Second of all, they do a really good job. I don't have a problem with Magic Masala. I think it's a phenomenal flavor. My favorite snack right now, it used to be Cheetos, now it's Kurkur. Like, my problem with that is that it's not you took something that was exotic, you took something that was original and you made it unoriginal because you overused it. Oh my god. I have to say though, their packaging is sublime. It's phenomenal. Really nice. I mean, it's 52. I think what I preferred is here. We had a description, which is really rare. Set in the world of Cheetos, magic masala. Puff of flavor corn snack where a masala makes of chili pepper, onion, garlic, and cumin. Just one bite away. I really like that. Holy shit! There's no way. Okay, I like that. Oh, I love that. I think I don't have a product for that. You see this little green thing? A lot of Indian snack. Without further ado, let's go. I'm open-minded, but the smell coming out of it is actually really, really nice. Very peculiar taste and smell of masala. Oh yeah. Really nice. These are godly. Very spicy. Without spicy in the sense of I'm not gonna fire. Very kind of spices. It's actually really, really nice. Overwhelming flavor. So just to taste it and like it. The other thing with masala, you get used to it. Really, really nice. The crazy thing here, why it's so good, you got a large amount of flavor that comes in and uppercut you, right? And you're knocked out of the floor. And then you get back up. And then you're like, wow, I got a hit. How did you get back up? The puffiness of the cheese puff is phenomenal. The spices are there. But it is so well made. Holy shit. I don't know if it's in my head, but it does feel like as much as you eat the inside of the cheese puff, it comes to calm down the spices. The puffiness of it all. It feels like I'm eating something. I honestly think that I think it's a simple matter of I'm not chewing on it. Because I'm not chewing on it, I'm swallowing. Clip that. And because I'm swallowing, the taste goes away. Which is really nice. They're really cool, really nice. But if I bite them again, I'm trying to lose weight, so possibly not. I know, I'm not trying to lose weight because all of those snacks, there's a reason for that. But anyway, I love you guys, take it easy. Don't miss Nancy Brady. Welcome to the competition. I've been doing well for having a wonderful day on this Crazy Hair Day. On this March 2025. I'm coming in with a bit of a situation today. And it's a problem to deal with the middle of the video. Yeah, as you guys know, I've been feeling depressed. Not depressed, but feeling depressed. Again, very different from depression itself. And please understand when I'm saying there's a difference in depression. I'm not talking about, oh my god, you're depressed. What is with you? There's nothing wrong with you depressed. I was depressed. I had depression at 23 years old, at 25, and 2 years. There's nothing wrong with that. The reason I'm saying this video is because right now I'm a bit more joyful than usual. And that's because we had junk food, we had ice cream, we had chips, we had energy drinks, and we're about to have soda, ginger soda, or ginger ale. I don't know what you call it. Now the situation I'm seeing with that, the problem that I'm having with that is this really helped my mood out. I think it's because of the sugar, but I feel like I'm in a lot better mood. And this is a good thing because I know that if I was to be in a bad mood, food would save me. Now, ultimately speaking, and again, I'm not passing judgments. I'm not judging anybody. That's not the goal of this video, right? But I do believe that there's a better way to deal with your depression. A lot of people turn to drugs. A lot of people turn to alcohol. Right? There's nothing wrong with that, but I think long term, I think that's not great. I think that's not a good thing to do. Now, with us, what happened with us is tonight we were able to feel better because of the food. I'm trying to lose weight, right? So the food is counterintuitive, but I'm such in a weird place because I'm feeling a bit better today. I'm glad I'm gonna have a good evening. I'm gonna be eating snacks the whole night. I'm gonna have a good evening. I'm glad I'm gonna be feeling better. However, at what price? No, you think that I'm talking about the weight, right? I'm not. I'm talking about understanding that the only way I was able to feel better was through substance abuse. Now, with substance abuse, I'm not talking about drugs. I'm not talking about alcohol. Substance is food, right? And it's once again, it's a comfort food. When I had my biggest depression, which was at 22 years old, we spent a year and a half in the apartment, and every single day, snacks. And although it was phenomenal, it's what made me stay alive. I think it's the fact that I wanted to be able to cure myself. And I know it's crazy, and it's such a weird thing in itself. Because you say that you're able to cure yourself, but what does it mean to cure yourself? What does it exactly mean? And there's no certification. What is it to cure yourself? Right? Now, ultimately speaking, and we're going to get into like bad conversation, bad subject, but we're talking about also holistic medication. So, for example, somebody will tell you, not me, somebody will tell you, hey, this rock will help you digest. Right? Now, there's a possibility that it is true, but there's a possibility that it's not true. I think that's bullshit. And a lot of people will forego, they will turn to nature as to medication. So, for example, and to certain cases it works. For example, you know that ginger is very, very good antioxidant. You know that when you have problem digesting, coconut water will help you a lot. That's not the reason why coconut water will help you. The reason, the laxative. So whatever you have going on there, get the point. So I think that where I'm going with this is it's such a complex story. I was seeing shrinks, right, 2 times. And I'll be completely honest and say not all of them, but most of them I met didn't give a single fuck. They didn't give a single fuck about me. Okay, here's some pills. And then I've had a social worker, I don't know, there's a term for that. But it's a social worker. And she really helped me out. She really did. That social worker, and again, I feel bad for that. I do feel bad. If she's ever watching this, I am sorry. That is depression. The depression, that last depression which we had, which was because somebody made us a death threat. And they sent me to a social worker. Now they sent me to somebody that doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. They were the most helpful. She was the first one to give a shit. She didn't have, probably she did have a diploma. She had some sort of knowledge, but she didn't have as much knowledge as a shrink. However, it doesn't matter the amount of knowledge that she had, she helped me. You know? So my problem today is we feel better, but it's thanks to food. And I know for a fact that food will not last. That feeling of comfort, it won't last. Because I've been there. So we're feeling a lot better. And what I'm afraid of, really, really afraid, and that's the reason why I'm making this video today. This morning I was feeling really good. When I say really good, I went out, right, which is a fucking... I'm gonna tell you something. The first of the steps is the hardest to take. Then it's just natural. Me going out was the hardest step. To work out. And it was really nice. Then about the food, which was the motivation for going out. You trick your brain. I want to stop smoking. I don't smoke. That's the example. I want to stop smoking. Okay, well, if I stop smoking, I'm going to take the money that I would save by buying back some cigarettes. And what I would do is I will take all that money to buy cigarettes and I'll put it towards a trip. Right? Now, I know that I'm spending around $50 a week on cigarettes, right? What if I was able to say, fuck cigarettes? $50 a week, a month is $200. I want to go on a trip. It's going to take me 10 months to get that, right? Out of 10 months, all the money that I put into cigarettes, right, will go to the trip. After 10 months that you haven't smoked cigarettes, right, you should have beaten your addiction to nicotine. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't smoke. So with the food, what I'm afraid of with the food is I didn't need the food, right? It was gonna help, but I didn't need it. I didn't need it. What I'm really afraid is I'm gonna go high over here with the food, and it's not the food in itself. Ugh, it's complicated. It's the comfort of the food, is the reaction to food, the reaction to be feeling full, is the dopamine that certain food release in your system. So the dopamine is something that your body's gonna, not, I don't know if it's dopamine or no, it's dopamine. Yes. You're gonna go with melatonin. Melatonin is what makes you sleep. The dopamine is gonna be released through the effects of food, of junk food. You're gonna be feeling a high. But what I'm afraid is the whole week we were here. This is the normal. Start going like this, right? Now with the food, I feel over here, which is great. But if the food, when it stops making effect, I'm gonna go here. With depression, it's a weird thing. I've always dealt with it differently. The very first depression that we had at 22 years old, I turned to food. Those were, and I swear to God, those were some of the best moments of my life was in depression, which is crazy. So when I used to work at a place called Marquez de Fanny, which is a coffee shop, and they gave me the Wi-Fi. What I did was I took the Wi-Fi. I would download movies. I would go at night because there was nobody. I was with parking lot at night, from 2 to 4:30 because people would start working at 5. Download movies. I stayed for almost 2 years in my apartment, eating junk food, watching shows, playing video games. It was great. It was fucking great. But I use video game as an escape. And this is a true story. This is a lot of information, but it's a true story. I use video games and food as an escape, right? And ultimately speaking, it was my longest depression. Thank God for Ben, like Falling in Reverse. Thank God for Ben, like Falling in Reverse, and thank God for Amnesia Affliction. The depression was so bad. Nothing Nowhere was the one that saved me. Falling in Reverse, great. Nothing Nowhere saved me. And Amnesia Affliction was great, but then they released something, they went more electric, which I didn't like. So what ended up happening is I cut ties with everybody. My father is, I don't want to see you every single week. Nah, I don't want to see you. Not because I don't want to see you, but because, and I cut bridge with my mom, with my father. And I didn't have friends to begin with, so there was a problem there. And I had 2 years. You know what the craziest thing? Those 2 years? I don't have a lot of memories of those 2 years. But I remember getting all those tattoos were during that 2 years. I remember distinctively listening to Yann Terriot, which is a French podcaster. And the craziest thing was he was going through depression after the time I did. I was listening to him complain. I was playing Borderlands 2. It's one of my favorite games. Yeah. It was really good moments. And then I started feeling better. And when I say start feeling better, start feeling a lot better. You know what I realized after that? I realized? I wasn't truly happy. I never really saw the problem. Now I'm next to a job. And that job is filling up trucks. I have a boss that's really nice. And let me listen to music. Once again. I'm using music as an escape. Right? Then I have another depression. This depression is different. They wanted me to do more work. And depression was a lot. So I told you the story before. I fucking love that guy. And he didn't mean to be doing something wrong to me. That boss, what he did to me. And again, Francis, genuine person. Francis, like me. Not like me, but like me. was a nice guy. Francis was also a nice guy. He was very misunderstood. Francis was the kind of guy that popped joke and was awkward. Francis was the kind of guy that needed to prove I can lift that much. Francis has mood swing. Really big mood swing. And I took it all in. I understood that he was insecure. Francis was very insecure. Francis was a fucking brilliant dude. Francis used to tell me about the war he partake in his country. He used to tell me how they would give them pills. And that's the craziest story. And I don't know if it's true. I do not know if it's true. This is all alleged. Please understand, it's all alleged. He told me about a war where you would go to a country where the water wasn't drinkable, wasn't clean. They would tell the soldier, take this pill, right? No matter what's in the water, this will cure it. No matter what is in the water, right? And he was like, okay, well, then this drugs make them more aggressive in the fights. And Francis, he kept me. So the summer we had like 10, 15 trucks. The winter we had 1 truck. That's my ice cream if you don't mind. Because it doesn't melt. And because I could be using some ice cream, right? President Choice caramel, salted caramel. So Francis, he liked me. Now the reality is, I don't want to take away from the relationship. The reality is, it was all. So it's kind of complex. It's kind of really complex. It was an agency worker. I was a temporary agency worker. Now there is a strong bias against agency worker. There's a really strong bias. I did went to 10 places. Dollarama, Structured, the 12-hour place. The 12-hour place we did Fabritech. I think I did 3 places. I did the snow. I'm forgetting a lot because some of those were a couple of days only. And you go in and you're being called, oh, the temporary agency worker. And it's complicated. It's complicated because there's 3 ways of seeing this, right? The first way is as an employee of the agency. People are treating me like shit. People are treating me like shit. First of all. Second of all, I will not last here. They'll send me someplace else. That's the first thing they'll do. That's the first thing you see. Now, of course, if you're like me, there's a step before that, which is the third one. The third one, I put it at the third because it's optional. Now, again, this is not planned. This is all in my head, so it doesn't make sense. Blame my fucking brain. The first part is you're being told we're going to send you places, and if they like you, they'll keep you. Right? Right? That's pretty much it. Now, that's not true. The agency worker will take care of your insurance, they will take care of your pay, they will take care of HR. So although you're paying more for hours, the company is making more money. I'm going to be completely blowing your mind. With the agency worker, I did Quebec, which was 2 years. The number of places I did that were long term. Insanity. Insanity. And sorry, emotions. I would believe, and then I would lose a job, and then you kind of lose hope. Nobody's gonna hire you. Let me stuck there for a while. Right? You stop hoping. You stop hoping. Then there's a magic that happens, right? You start to believe that you don't care. With a temporary agency worker, people are very, from my experience, people are very lazy. They don't put in the effort. But then, can you blame them? They're not going to get hired. They don't get switched. The problem with agency worker is, or temporary agency is, on one day, you have a job, the next day they can say, fuck you, you don't have a job, right? That's a problem. So then, with Francis, Francis kept me because he liked me. Now, Francis and we developed a bond of trust. I trusted him, he trusted me. And he kind of, I wouldn't say in secret, but he kind of trained me. I'm not saying that in secret. I'm saying, not on the surface, he wasn't training me on the surface, but he was training me. So, for example, it would come the day in the morning and tell me, and we were two workers in the winter. He would tell me, okay, you have this and this is what you have, this amount of that you have. This is supposed to take you around this amount of time. You have the whole day, plan your day. And I thought it was really nice because I was like, okay, well, let's say we have work for 6 hours and we have 8 hours. Okay, well, here's when I'm going to take the break and here's when I'm going to be eating. Now, the problem that was with that is during the summer. And I felt really betrayed. I felt really betrayed by Francis. And I love Francis. As an adult now, I understand. I was young, I was 24, 25. So Francis, when the summer came, we were 15 guys, he would go from truck to truck. He would call me. Say, hey. Say, what's up, Francis? Tell me, your boys are not working. Go talk to them. Francis took a step back for me to work harder, right? And I was like, fuck you, dude. Fuck you. I'm thankful for what you did for me. But I did ask you for help. I have such a hard time with people that are in the world or not in the world, I'm so sorry. And the way people act, one of my biggest pet peeves is people that are forcing you to help. They're going to say, hey, I'm going to help you, I'm going to help you, I'm going to help you. And you're like, hey, you don't need help. If you don't want to say no because you think it's a nice thing that they're doing. My biggest pet peeve is those people will often say, hey, I helped you, you owe me. Francis was like that. And again, I don't, there's details that I learned much later. Much later. So it's like, yo, and I felt like I owed him because he kept me the winter. Now the truth is I wasn't the best worker. There's a couple of better workers than me that he fired to keep me, right? Now, he was putting a lot of pressure on me. It was putting a lot of pressure on me. Now what ended up happening was I later learned that Francis was also an agency worker. I learned that Francis wasn't making more than I was. The depression came from a sudden influx of responsibility. I was the same. I wanted more money. I was like, dude, I don't care about doing more work. You're gonna pay me more. He was making the same salary as me. He was the boss. He was making the same salary as me. Now, Francis, Francis was mad at the company for not hiring him because they did promise him he was gonna hire him. He was finding it unfair. So he kind of said, fuck you to the company. I'm going to share my loads of responsibility with this guy, Inc. He was pissed off, and then I became pissed off. The difference between me and him was he had kids, he had responsibility, he needed a job. I didn't need a job. So when he got too much, he was stuck there. I had to feed my family. When he got too much, fuck you, bye. Right? But Francis was trying to teach me about life. What I learned later on, 2 months of that, they moved to another city. You know what the craziest thing? You know what the craziest thing? Twitch the company name was Twitch. Moved to Laval. PCT moved to Laval. I think Laval has less attacks. So long story short, this was the second depression. I felt the depression, the reality of the depression, it wasn't about the too much work. It was about letting people down. Okay. So the first depression was because of personal reason. My best friend unalived himself. My girlfriend broke up. The second depression was I keep on telling this is the reason, but it's not the real reason. The real reason is I was a nice guy. I was helping a lot of people. And then when you start to ask for help, nobody cares. Now, the usual suspect, the usual person will figure out people don't give a fuck about you in life. Surprise, people don't give a fuck about you. I was in the middle of depression, of a beginning of depression. And I realized that, so this was the drop that made the cup overflow. Second was professional. So with Francis, he needed me. Now the pretense of the depression was. This is actually a really good conversation. Actually, this is really complex. The second depression was. And I don't like talking about it, but fuck it. It was about Francis. He trusted me. And I let him down. When you don't have responsibility, when you don't have shit to do, you don't care about letting people down. When people don't expect you to do much, and I actively did that. I presented myself as a dude, and I did that for the longest of time. Myself as a dude that was a nice guy, but not the best worker. So people would like having me around, but wouldn't trust me for work, so I had an easy ride for work. Francis, I let him down. And then start realizing who I let down. Like, I let down a lot of people. I wasn't a good person like that. The third depression, which was the death threat. Now, the death threat was the bully at work, so about that 3 years ago. You guys, I was making content back then, so you guys pretty much know about it, so I have less to talk about. But a very, very short recap, I had this bully. And every single day, it was insult. Every single day was use, and that's a true story, I never told that. Well, maybe I did, I don't know. You used to take a pen. Take a pen. And you used to pierce my shirt. And ninjas get stitches, right? That was it. That was the worst depression. That was the worst depression. It's really tough. It's really, really tough. He used to bully me every day. Physical bullying, emotional bullying. A lot more emotional than physical. Abuse, toxic person. With my whole life I was told, when you see people like that, ignore them or be kinder. So I have my mindset that I'm so kind. And I'll be completely honest, I'm gonna sound like I'm bragging, but I'm not. I never had a person that I wasn't able to turn. I've had countless of people look at me and say, oh, you're a fucking mess, you're a fucking loser. But I always was so kind, it would change their mind. Look at my stats on TikTok, on YouTube, and on Twitch. You think people like the content, you think they like me. They like me. This bully was the first person I couldn't turn. And he would be so mad, and he would be so insulting. He would call me retarded. And people knew it. People knew it. And I was still very young. That's not true. I was 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 years old. Oh yeah. People started defending me. Say, hey, don't treat him like that. He's a good guy. Fuck you. Don't treat him like that. And I was always forgiving him. So people they start saying, why are we helping you? Why are we protecting you? You don't give a fuck. And then the worst thing, this was the very, very worst thing that happened to me. Wasn't the guy that bullied me. People actively were mad at me, but I didn't care. They thought it's not normal that the way he's talking to you, you don't get mad. It's not normal. It isn't normal. So there's something wrong with you. Maybe you don't care. And if you don't care about him, you don't care about the job. My coworkers started to get mad at me. Very, very mad. Now, I would be assaulted by a lot of people. You don't fucking care. No, I'm not gonna make it about race. Okay, I'm not gonna make it about race. I'm not gonna make it. But a lot of these dudes were Romanian, and Romanians are very prideful. They're European. They're very much, I wouldn't say confrontational, but it's more so a. Canada, we're soft. We're very soft. We're very, very soft. Them, there's a lot more of fuck you. There's this expression. They would, they would fight each other every single dinner. They would fight each other, not physically fight, but they would insult each other. And then you would ask them, "Hey, you good? Did you have a fight?" It's like, no, sorry, don't worry about it. They would fight. They would fight. Yeah. They would call each other names. They would insult each other's mom. That was very different for me because I was Canadian. I was soft, right? But then the biggest mistake that I made with this guy was I forgave him. And I keep on lying to you guys. I lie to you guys a lot. I keep on telling you, oh well, it's the right thing to do to forgive. That's not true. The reason why I forgave him was because I wanted to prove myself that the one guy that everybody hated at work, because he was bullying others. People didn't like that guy. There's time where I felt like they were using me as an excuse to fight with this guy. I wanted to prove myself, and I wanted to prove the world that I can get him to like me, which he doesn't like anybody. Now, ultimately speaking, this guy it wasn't his fault. This guy missed his home country a lot. It was Moldavian. He missed his country a lot. Now the problem with this guy is his wife. She really fell in love with the Canadian culture. His kids really fell in love with the Canadian culture. They would speak French at home. He didn't speak French. They would keep him away. His father would spend afternoons cooking traditional food for his kid to like. He said, "No, I want chicken nuggets." And he was like, "Fucking Canadian." And I was Canadian, so he didn't like me for that. There was some from this guy, only this guy. There was some racism, but that racism came out of insecurity. Of I'm not able to, and he tried to learn French. He really did try, but he would give up. Yeah. So, and then that's the saddest thing. The saddest thing with this guy is that this is all thing that I realized later on. I realized when it was too late. This guy, I think at first he was really nice to me because I was a hard worker. At first he was really nice to me. Now, there is a secret here that I don't say. Now, I cannot confirm that that's true, but I was replacing a guy, and that guy was working with him. I was part of the agency workers, so my boss behind, he was looking for a guy, and he didn't, at first, he wasn't the perfect option. Like I said, I was a nice guy, but I wasn't a good worker. Like, I'm not sure about this guy. So he kept on hiring people, and the bully wanted me to work with him. So he was really nice to me because he knew that the other guy was leaving. When the other guy left, and I was replacing him forever, that's when he started being mean to me. And it all started with a day. And it was bad. It was bad. So when I came into the company, I realized that people were really nice. But the first thing I noticed was they were really fucking nice to me. It was a joke, also. So you had... Okay, so this is actually a crazy story. This is a good story too. A lot of companies, they don't care. A lot of the agency workers don't care. I hadn't worked in a year, so I was happy to work. I would come in and I was very friendly. I was like, "Hey, how are you?" And Romanians speak French because Romanians come from Latin, and Latin is the mother or father of French. So there's a lot of similarities. I was listening to them talk and I was like, "Holy shit, I know that word." So right away I was very friendly. They were shake my hand and say, "Hey, what's your name?" I said, "Stefan." Nice handshake because again I wanted to work there, you know. And the first thing I noticed, there wasn't lock around. It was close to my house. Salary was very good. Okay, this is a place I want to go. I want to work at. And that's not the worst thing. they really took care of me. I we had a. I love those guys at work. I love them. My family. There's a lot of things that they did that was not okay. We had one of my best friend, Junior, super nice guy, and me and Junior really clicked along because we were the same age. Me and Junior really clicked along because we were the only non-Romanian workers. So technically, that's not true. There was one Bulgarian worker. There was two Moldavian workers, and the rest was Romanian. But Moldavia and Romanian. So Moldavia is so fucking small, and they're the neighbors of Romania. So a lot of people will group them together. So it's the same culture. The guy that was from Bulgaria also. The guy from Bulgaria, Romike, super nice guy. Romike was actually special. Romike was the first time company employee, the very first. So him and Mihai they became very close. They were also the thing with Romike and Mihai, they were the same age. They got really close. They became friends. Romike was Bulgarian. The thing with Romike is he worked so freaking much with Romanian that he understood the culture. Now, what happened also is Bulgaria is also part of Europe. There's a lot of similarity with the culture. So you got not necessarily assimilated, but there was a common ground, right? Me and Junior we were the outsider. However, I was treated way better than Junior. Junior was Filipino. They would call him Chinese. Now, ultimately speaking, it's a joke, and I gotta shout out to Junior. Junior knew it was a joke. He wasn't mad about it. That was low-key racism. You know? Now, the boss kept asking. It kept asking, "Hey, do you have a friend that can work?" Junior had people. Junior was a good guy. Junior was. So this is something I have a lot of Filipino friends. That's something I noticed about Filipinos. They're very community prone, very community prone. So they'll help there's almost a and I saw that about Romanian too, but there's almost this unhealthy thing if you get into a fight, or for example, you have a choice between helping me or helping another Filipino, which is a Filipino. The Romanian they would use Mihai to be more kind. Then when Mihai would get mad, and say, "Why are you screaming at me? We're both Romanian." Doesn't change shit. Doesn't whatever the race you are, you're assholes. So the Filipino, and then Junior was understanding of that, but his best friend Mariano wasn't understanding of that. Mariano was special. Mariano was a really good dude, and I wish I was closer to Mariano. I wish I was closer. The problem with Mariano was he had good days and he had bad days. On good days, he was one of the nicest guys. On bad days, you couldn't talk to him. He would get mad at you, right? And ultimately, I was using my phone a lot, right? Because it was boring. The guy that was a bully. Okay, so it's complicated. It's a long story, but the guy that was a bully would come in, and he didn't want to work. He would call people to come in to talk to him, and he would talk to them for 40 minutes, for 50 minutes. And I was there. Now, he wouldn't get in trouble. I was getting in trouble to be on my phone. So then we lost. This guy was a bully. We lost one of the employees. One of the employees, we lost him because this guy and the bully got into a fight. Physical fight. The reason why Mihai allowed the bully to come in, he felt pity for the bully because the bully didn't speak French and English. Like, he spoke Romanian. And the bully was like, who else? And the bully was smart. The bully was really smart. He was the only one that knew the machine. Now him and Junior got start really into a fight, and I was supposed to choose between the two of them. And the reason why they got into a fight is because Junior was actually really smart. And Junior was actually really motivated, really motivated. So he wanted to learn the machine. Now I dreamed, and this I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna regret it. But I dreamed that Junior would play the bully, because me and Junior peed in a pod, bro. This guy was so fucking nice. I fucking love Junior. I don't know. Then the tension rose up. Him and the bully started fighting a lot. And the bully would actually insult him with the other guys and would make jokes about him. They were pretty messed up. Like, oh fucking Chinese, you know. And he would make them laugh, and he would get people to tell Junior, we're laughing about you. You know, that was never in my case. They were nice to me, dude. They were nice to me. Whenever they knew that I was young, I couldn't cook. Whenever there was food left over, you're gonna take it home. They used to call me Tiga, which is basically, Tiga is like my boy. It's like when they have each other, like, hey, co-worker or my man, I was my boy. I was younger, you know. And I was treated very nicely. And they used to have my back to a sense where I really felt indebted to them a lot. So, for example, there was two other agency workers, and they were we were talking a lot. Then me, and I was there too. I was talking with them. I was working though; they weren't. But of course, I was working a lot less fast than if I wasn't talking. And then Mihai decided to find the three of us. The next day, he called me back and said, you know what, you've been there for a while, come back. Okay, no problem. I needed that job. I wanted that job. And then, I thought it was from him. I had Aurel, which was my neighbor. It was my neighbor because we used to work together. It's my neighbor because we're still living together. Well, not together, but you know what I mean. And he was like, when are you going to say thank you? I'm like, the fuck you want to thank you for? Now Aurel was a really nice guy. Aurel was a really nice guy. Aurel was a nice guy, was weird though. Aurel would actually tell you, fuck you. It was a nice guy, but he was also an asshole. If you didn't have a problem with him, he was really nice. But if you had a problem, he said, when are we going to say thank you? I say, wait, that's so fucked up. That is so fucked up. That is so fucked up. He said, when are we going to say thank you? I say, I need to say thank you, why? He said, wait, that's so fucked up. He said, you think you're back because you're a good worker? No, you're back because we like you. What? Yeah. And then I learned after that it was true. It was them that asked me how to say, hey, bring him back, please want him back. You know? The depression for that job was because, I thought depression was because for the very first time I understood how mean the world was. I was having death threats. I was being abused every single day and nobody did shit. Yeah. See, as a kid my first depression was because nobody did shit because I was... See, my first depression was because nobody gave a shit. Okay? But they didn't owe me shit. And they didn't see it. They didn't know I was bad and I was bad. I didn't say, hey, I need your help. That was my problem. I wrote one post of just broke up, need someone to talk to. Nobody answered. Okay. Did a post, hey, this is my birthday, please come. Nobody came. But then I made the event, events like 2 months before. Nobody remembered. Now, the last depression, the third depression, was because and it's really tough. It's really tough. It's really tough. The word depression was because I felt like people knew I was going through stuff and they didn't care. It was very different than you don't know what I'm going through. Yeah. And then the last depression that I had, which is, I don't want to say right now. Right now it's weird. It's not a depression, but it feels like a depression. And the reason, I think I'm afraid of having another depression. That's the thing. I'm still afraid. So like I said, in October we had this huge depression. Well, we had a huge burnout because I was putting in sweat, blood, and effort. And the reality is I was getting a lot of hate. And my problem was this hate was affecting me. It was putting blood, sweat, and tears. Now, the reality is I wasn't sleeping. I was a dick to a lot of friends because I wasn't sleeping. And I had this one person that came to every single one of my video and they hated on me. And I took breaks. When I take a break, I take a break. Even right now, I'm taking a break, and I'm not going to answer comments. But I cannot help but reading them because you guys are my friends. I love you guys. And I have people defending me. And we go after them. This guy was fucked up in the head. You know? But yeah. So, long story short. It's a fucking mess. That guy was a fucking mess. And then I start feeling angry and I had jealous. The person I actually did worst was jealous. He was there for every single time and he was just asking me to be Jealous was so supportive. We're gonna do a part 3. Holy shit, I talk a lot. Holy shit.